This week's podcast is brought to you by Eco Water of Marshall. Your better water starts here. Finding the perfect solution for your water starts with identifying the problem. Eco Water, backed by nearly a century of expertise and innovation, can help. Call the professionals at Eco Water in Marshall today, 507-532-6547. Your water perfected.
Welcome to the 33rd edition of the Headlight Hot Seat. My name is Per, and I will be your host, so you're going to have to put up with me for about a half hour. But I hope the blow will be softened by my guest, who is no stranger to microphones. It is Tracy Area High School Choir Director, Wendy Johnson. I've always wanted to ask you, Wendy, and I made a note of this. Is it choir or choral?
A choral
Is there
director?
a difference?
I don't know. Sometimes we like to say choral director. It just seems more
A little
official.
more, yeah. I don't know. I put both in stories before, but maybe it's semantics,
fine.
right?
Yeah, right.
So Wendy and the gang are fresh off a wonderful Portraits and Melody performance Monday. What did you think about that performance? I mean, I know the crowd loved it.
I felt like it was elevated for the choir's been in a little bit of a slump lately. I think it's just winter slumps, you know what I mean? And we've got contest coming up, and I was a little nervous about a couple of the songs, Beethoven for one of them. And I felt like they really rose to the occasion, and we were missing about seven or eight people. So I was really proud of them. And junior high had a lot of energy. I felt good about it.
Mm-hmm. I thought the junior high band was excellent.
Yes.
I mean, it was all good, but
she has them playing some difficult stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm really impressed with what she's done.
How do you pick your selections?
Well, I never do a theme because I feel like a theme locks me in, you know, like how many songs can you have about recycling or something, you know what I mean? It's like, so, you know, I like to pick really good literature, and then the songs that I want to do that I feel are important for the kids to learn that year. And then I somehow just sort of meld them into a program. Sometimes they're not related to each other. Sometimes they are.
All right. We skipped the first part. We got a little off track there, but that's good. Let's learn a little bit about Wendy Johnson, and tell us about yourself, Wendy.
Well, I was born in Bloomington, Minnesota, but I was raised in Excelsior, kind of the Deep Haven, Minnetonka area. It's where I spent most of my years, and went to public school for a while, and then went to private school for high school, and then went to Crown College 11 miles away from home for college.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah. Yep, and I was just kind of a general education major there, and then I met my husband. We got married, and we lived in various parts around the cities, around the western cities, and we landed in Hopkins because he had a insurance business there. So I started teaching piano lessons out of my home, and we had 4 kids together. I quit college because the kids kept coming, and then I ended up going back to college when I was about 30 with music education degree. And at that point, I was just a lot more focused, you know, just every grade counted, you know, every minute away from my kids counted. And I was a full-time student for 4 years, teaching piano and then doing some home health care on the side. And then I've always been a church musician since I was about 22. Always played on a worship team, and kind of in the early stages of developing one, and then it grew to about 10 people, and then we left. We took some jobs down in Florida. I taught, and my ex-husband, he did some ministry jobs, and so we were down in Orlando for 3 years, and we wanted to get back to Minnesota. We got as close as to Marshall, Minnesota, which was a new and exciting experience. So,
Well, small towns now. You're getting smaller and smaller as you go.
Yeah, it was. We were down in Orlando, which was crazy busy, but then we came to, and we felt like when we came to Southwest Minnesota that we were talking really loud. You know, like we were talking with our hands, and we're just like, you know, just out there. And people were a little, you know, they were more reserved. We noticed it at Walmart right away, you know, and I it was kind of like, okay, we got to tone it down, you know. But
Dial it back, Wendy.
anyway, and then I started teaching at Milroy, and I taught there for 4 years, and then my life changed, and then I got a job at Tracy, and I've been here for 14 years. And I am married to Steve Johnson, and we've been married about 10 years, and we have 6 kids between us. It's kind of the Brady Bunch.
Wow.
He's a farmer, he's kind of the glue that holds me together because I'm kind of the crazy,
Well, I wouldn't use the word crazy.
Well, I mean,
You can, but I don't know if I'd call you crazy.
I don't mean crazy, but I mean, the creative brain.
Right side. I think
Yeah,
that's the right-
definitely. Yeah.
Well, you have to be in your
And
line
Steve
of work.
is polar opposite.
So opposites attract, and
Definitely.
you play off each other that way.
Yeah. He's a good support, and we just it's good. So I've been here for 14 years, and I love it. I really love teaching here. I've taught in all different places, grew up in the suburbs and then taught in Orlando. It was huge schools, and now the farming community is a totally different deal. And I really, really, really enjoy it. I feel blessed.
Has music always been in your blood?
Always, which is, it surprises me that I didn't go into music at first, but that's because I was intimidated. I just thought, oh, you have to be playing at orchestra hall to be, a music major. And, but, after teaching piano for 10 years and just always being involved in everything music on the side, it just seemed right to go back, to go into music when I went back. And then I just excelled at everything musically, except for music history. That was hard. It was just a lot of studying, you know what I mean?
So I got a loaded question for you. What is your favorite kind of music?
Oh, man.
I know, it's hard to answer. I know for you.
It is hard to answer because I love kind of classic alternative rock. But my gospel is near and dear to my heart. Gospel music for sure, because it's faith driven. But I love the symphony. My mom and I used to go to orchestra hall, and we had season tickets to the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra. I was the one kid that wanted to do that stuff with her, But I don't want to sit and listen to symphony all day long. You know what I mean? I just love everything. I mean, I like country now. That's new to me, and I like it now.
But the gospel music piece, is that how you got into the Southwest Minnesota Men's Chorus, kind of leading that charge?
No.
Or how did you fall into that?
They were looking for a director when I first moved to town here, and I think Donovan Hansen was their director at the time. I think he got the job at the time, but then he moved away. And then I said, hey, you know what? I did come and audition for you guys, So, they took me on, but they're so fun to work with. They're just really fun because, I used to direct the Women's Sweet Adelines chorus in Marshall, which was very competitive at the time. And then we had a quartet that spun off of them and all that. And we were together for about 7 years, but they come with pencils in hand. They pour through like 12 pieces of music at night, and the guys are the same way, and they're just ready to work, and they cut up and they talk just like teenagers. I mean,
Oh, sure, I know
they don't listen.
Some of those dudes, for sure.
They do their own thing, but when it comes to music, I mean, they want to get it right, and I love that. Plus, they're fun to jive with and stuff.
So you work mostly with kids, of course, at the school, but now you're dealing with grown men. Tough question number 2, which one is better? Which one do you enjoy more?
Oh, well, if it was an all-day thing, I mean, the kids,
Yeah.
I love kids. They always ask crazy questions, and they try to trip you up, and they're, especially middle school, they're always so impulsive, and I just find it really fun. We had a house full of boys, we had 3 boys and 1 girl, and she kind of ruled the roost, but they were always, coming home at like 11 o'clock at night with lots of friends jumping on the trampoline and driving us crazy. And I love teenagers. So that's the part of my job that it's like a love-hate relationship, you know what I mean? But, whenever I retire someday, I'm going to miss it so much. It's going to seem so quiet. You
Well, why
know.
don't you have the men's chorus guys come over and jump on the trampoline once in a while?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to be there for that because that would be an interesting story, and I'd like to see who gets hurt first.
Yeah, no, I just, yeah, I have always loved teenagers. And, I started off teaching little kids. I love them too. I didn't know that I was going to like teenagers as much as I do. And I just grew into it, and I just enjoy them.
So we're full into concert season right now. You have contests and solo ensembles coming up, and that's in Cottonwood.
Yes.
How do you? This is kind of like your playoffs, right? You rehearse and you entertain in Porches and Melody and at Pops concerts. It's kind of like a gear up towards the big show.
Yeah.
What is that like for the kids? And are they like a sports team where they're going into a big game? Is
Yeah,
that
every time that we go to contests, they bring their game. They always do well. And I don't know. I mean, we never record it, and I wish it was recorded because it is their best performance of the year.
why don't you
It's
record it?
just game on. I don't know. I think they need to have it set up there, I guess.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's kind of, it's recorded far away, but that's not,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I want something up close that actually captures their voice and
Right.
stuff. We should just have a parent come and do it.
Heck yeah.
But I love it. It's my favorite time of the year. It's the most competitive time of the year. And then we can relax after that and then do pop music. And of course, I love the Pops concert. I mean,
Well, I was going to ask
who
you.
can't, you
I
know?
was going to segue that. You just segued for me. You have the Pops concert coming up on May 15th. You have Burgers and Bands coming up. Also, is that in May as well, I think?
Yep.
And what's your favorite concert? Is there, tough question number 3.
It would be Portraits and Melody or the Pops because, like I said, the competitiveness of Portraits and Melody, I love competition, but the Pops is such a awesome time just to be creative. And sometimes we have amazing musicians within the kids that could play a full band, and other times we just use, soundtracks. But the fact is, they really get into it. And I love that. Sometimes I'll just write an extra part, or I'll write out parts to a song that we don't have or whatever, and they latch on. It seems like they're game for anything.
Am I wrong in saying,
It's probably their favorite concert.
well, is it kind of lighter and more, than the more serious portraits?
Definitely, but I always like to push it.
Well, yeah,
I
of course you do.
I always like to push the energy. So, like, one of my favorite songs to do with the choir is Seven Bridges Road, because it's like hard singing and it's a cappella. It's almost like doing a song for contest. You know what I mean? I mean, they have to really bring it. They got to bring the energy. So I like packing in songs that have a good punch like that, along with, I'm not really into too lighthearted of stuff. You know what I mean? Like I don't pick like easy pop. I usually try to pick like classic rock, stuff like that,
So the kids have a lot of fun during the year in school, of course, with you and the band kids with Miss Elton.
I mean, I hope they do. I mean, I'm kind of a geek, but I'm sure
But that's probably why
they probably make fun of me. But
well,
that's okay.
they make fun of every teacher band.
I mean,
that's nothing new.
I mean, I did too. I was probably the worst. I honestly, I was.
Yeah, this is karma coming.
Yeah, exactly.
You take trips, Chanhassen Valley Fair. Why do you guys do that?
Well, I think it's a motivator to be in the program. Like the junior high, they've always been excited from the day they signed up, knowing that we were going to go to Valley Fair. And I said, well, that means you're going to have to sit in a choir the whole year just to go to Valley Fair. Oh yeah, okay, I'm okay with that. Okay,
Yeah.
I said okay. But yeah, it's fun, and it's fun to go to Valley Fair because they're always really well behaved. They get away from home, and I don't know. There's just something about getting them out of their hometown where they kind of bond. But the senior trip is something different for band and choir. We just take only the 12th graders, so they have to wait all 4 years to go. When we go to a Chanhassen Dinner Theater play, so this year it's Guys and Dolls. We've seen ones in the past like Little Mermaid, Grease, you name it, Footloose, stuff like that, some of their favorites. But so they're not as familiar with Guys and Dolls, but it's like a classic musical where you're going to have tap dancing and all of that, and I love it. Chanhassen does a great job. And then we'll go to the Mall of America, and they can shop till they drop and have fun and play games.
Or till you drop.
Yeah, I know, right? And then we'll go back to the hotel, swim, get up in the morning, have a catered breakfast, and we always stay at the Embassy Suites Hotel. So it's a little nicer,
Very nice.
Yeah.
So that costs money, of course. Is that something that the money that the music boosters brings in, does that go toward the trips?
I mean,
Or is that for, what
trip-
is that all for?
the trip to Valley Fair is $36. So the kids usually sell chocolate for that.
Okay.
If they
Oh,
sell
that's
one
right.
box, it's pretty much paid for.
I bought some chocolate from
Yeah.
Piper
Thank
this
you.
year. Of course.
Yeah. And then the senior trip, they can sell chocolate for that. That's $105. And they usually can come up with that. They'll they can sell chocolate for it and, and whatever. We do have music boosters that usually raises money for items that we need. The Fine Arts Council of Tracy has given scholarships to kids that needed to pay for their choir fee, things like that. But senior trip and the trip to Valley Fair, usually they're able to come up with that.
And the music booster money, the new robes. Well, they're not really new
Well,
anymore.
it was robes, the piano.
The piano, and that's what I was going to ask.
And
The
then,
piano too.
different equipment that we buy. I don't spend a lot of money. I feel like music is my biggest investment. I like to, invest in good music. But we did need that grand piano, and I am so glad we got it. And we got some pretty expensive microphones that go with it, and just like a new sound system, stuff like that. But it wasn't like a ton of money. We got a piano that was affordable, and I felt like I was frugal with the money, and
That new piano makes such a difference.
Yeah, I know.
It's incredible.
And it makes it like we have an auditorium.
Yeah.
Because we have the gymnatorium, which I don't mind sharing the space. I'm okay with it. Just sometimes getting in there early to rehearse, you feel like you have to. The PE teachers do have to give up their classroom for us to be in there, so it's a sacrifice on their part too. You know what I mean?
But if you had a wish list, you'd like
a theater.
A theater.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, that's, and nothing against what's going on now. You guys still put on a great show on the stage, but the sound
It's
obviously is,
Yeah.
well, the acoustics are so
just more,
different.
and it's just more intimate, to have a theater. But I have always been fine with working with what we had. It's nice to have little enhancements,
And it probably would make the kids feel like, look at us, we're in this nice theater.
Well, I think, when we started doing it on stage, I really liked that. We were doing it on the gym floor for a long time. But I decided about 10 years ago, it's like, okay, we need to switch it and do it on stage. We have a stage. Let's use it.
Yeah.
It does take time to set up the chairs, but usually I have my classes help set the chairs up, although I didn't this year, so I'm sorry to the janitors for that, because they're really good about setting it up. But
Let's transition into what we're really here for.
Yeah.
Celebration in Song coming
Okay.
up at 2:00 Sunday at Tracy Lutheran Church, as it always is. How many years has this been going on?
I think since I've been here, I've been
It's
here
been a
for
while.
14 years. I think it was before that. And I think they used to do it at the Catholic Church.
Okay.
So, because I remember when I came and visited when Shirley Gilmore was directing, and I saw her little jazz choir do, something with and I think it was at St. Mary's, and then it got moved to the Lutheran Church, and it's just stayed there ever since.
How fun is that for you? I mean, the
Oh,
community.
I love it.
The community is so lucky to have this because they don't pay to get in; it's free because of all these musicians and artists who sacrifice some of their weekend to come in to this church and perform for people.
Yeah.
But for you, it's different than high school choir. It's different than Southwest Men's Chorus. It's just different, and
community.
it's nice, isn't it?
I love it because, well, and this year we're going to have some amazing talent as always, but it's just, some outside people too. Some beautiful duets, some from the Phantom of the Opera, some from that Andre Bocelli sang with Celine Dion, The Prayer. We have a few instrumental, but I love it because I am just a music geek. I love to accompany people. I like to make them the best that they can be, if they need help or whatever. In the past, we've had a lot more high schoolers in it, and lately we haven't had the participation, but it'll come. We have a very ambitious 10th grade class. They came in as ninth graders last year, and they were like ready to go. They were in the musical. They were doing solo and ensemble, And so I feel like they're going to.
Do you put it out there for the kids every year? Like, you're
Yeah,
welcome
but
to do
see,
it?
in the past, I only picked seniors because I had so many kids that wanted to be in it.
Oh,
Yeah, we had so many. That's back when we did our Pops concert ourselves, like 3 years ago. And the choir and band did separate Pops concerts. And then we combined about 3 years ago, but we're kind of hoping to get our own concerts back eventually. You know what I mean?
okay.
But yeah, anyway, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying whether they're 45 years old or 18 years old,
Oh, it's
they're
going
all
to be
so good.
great. It's going to be great. And you know what? I'll tell you something. Coming from the suburbs, there's so much talent there, and there's so many different venues to go to and different things. I lived just miles from the Chanhassen Dinner Theater, and I only went there twice.
Oh.
When you live out here, and this is the thing that's going on in the town, the people come out for it. The people come out for the concerts. When I taught in Milroy, this was just astounding to me. We'd have like 300 people at a concert, and there was 85 kids in the school. I taught in Orlando. I'd have 500 kids in the I'd have about 400 kids in the concert. I'd have about 500 parents.
Yeah.
There just weren't that many parents. You know what I mean? Like they would
Yep.
just run off and do other things. Oh, I have to get a haircut or whatever, And so I just feel like the community support here is so great. But when I lived in the cities, there's so many distractions that you can go to that you just end up not doing them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can't decide what to do,
Yeah,
so you
and
just
then
say,
and then
forget
like
it.
to be in something like Miss Tracy, or I would have done that stuff when I was younger. But if you're one of 600 people, and if you're not part of the who's who and all of that, you're just overlooked. But it's like I was super musical as a kid, and did honor band and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like it's such a confidence building thing in this town for people to have these little performances. They're really special, and they're really, really important. And I just love it.
So once again, that's at 2:00 Sunday at the Lutheran Church, and a special incentive for everyone to come out. You will be playing the flute.
Well, don't talk that up. I'm just doing a little extra
Oh,
thing.
no, don't be so
because,
humble. Come on.
No, because we have some really great flute players that are coming in, and I'm just doing like a little side thing, you know what I
Okay.
mean? But yeah, I do play the flute, but I'm not a virtuoso by any means. Yeah, but thank you. Piano is my first instrument.
How do you get these people to come? I mean, I know you're not begging them or anything,
we
but
just kind of talk to friends, and Caitlin Elton is in the orchestra, so I said, okay, can you go? She's in the Southwest Orchestra in Marshall, and so I said, hey, can you ask some people if they'd like to perform? So she did, and that was great. And then when I had the men's chorus a few years ago, we had some excellent cello player and violin players out of a family from Marshall. Well, then they accompanied the men. Well, then I said, hey, would you like to perform at Celebration and Song? Of course they came. And then we were doing the Hallelujah Chorus the next year. And he said, you want to come and play with the Hallelujah Chorus with the high school choir? So she brought her violin, So, yeah, it's just word of mouth, getting connected with different musical people. I need to go to Marshall more, to the symphony and stuff, just so I can meet more people.
Yeah.
I just
Well,
haven't been in a while.
it's nice to see my man Samson's going to be there. I love that
Samson's
dude.
awesome. Yeah. And I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I mean, just to have a cello player here in town,
Right.
willing to do that, and he's so good,
Well,
and that makes this event so unique.
yes. And usually it is all local people. We just happen to be, we just happen to have a couple people from Marshall coming this year. Or actually from Minneota, and then Marshall, and Connie Knott will come from Westbrook. But usually we just try to get local, but we're just open, I just, since I don't have as many students involved, I want more adults involved. And
I like to see I'm looking at the list here of performers. I like to see the Cheadle name on there too.
oh, do you know them?
I know of them. I've witnessed their talents, but
Yeah.
it's one of those, they've been here before, right?
I don't know. I
I
think,
can't remember where I saw them. I thought it was here, but I have seen them before.
and I might have
or
run
one of them.
into them at one of the musicals, because I think they've been involved in the musicals
Yeah,
in
maybe
Marshall.
that's where
But I don't know. They're in the orchestra, but they sang that song at their wedding, and they said they'd sing it, and I said, yeah, that'd be awesome. It's a song from Phantom of the Opera.
Okay.
So
That's great.
yeah.
So once again, 2:00
excited.
Sunday at the Tracy Lutheran Church. You got to be there. The weather's going to be nice, but you can still be inside for a
Yeah,
little
we're
bit.
not going to have a snowstorm
No
this year.
snowstorm, no ice to worry about. I know that's been an issue in the past,
And
but
it's just such a lovely afternoon to kind of break up winter. And like I said, local talent, awesome.
so we're going to wrap up with I initially dubbed this best and worst parts of your job, but when Mandy Dibble and I talked, when she did the podcast, she said, how about challenging, most challenging instead of worst? Because worst is so derogatory and negative. So I'll ask you, Wendy, the best part of your job at Tracy Area High School.
Well, working with kids for sure. And then being creative. I love any job that I can be creative with, because that's my brain. I love music and putting it together. Kids for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most challenging part of your job.
I think
Be honest.
this the things that run through my mind keep me up at night if I'm worried about a student, or if I'm worried about if my schedule starts getting really packed, and then it's all running through my mind, and it's just a lot of sleepless nights during the school year. But it also creates the best part of my job, which is making music. I mean, it's those burning the candle and just kind of exercising your brain that makes those creative moments happen. They don't happen with a regular schedule. They're always extra hours or extra inspirations, like at the last minute when you weren't thinking about it. But and just the worry, being a mom and having a lot of students, I care about the students a lot. So sometimes I think about those things when I go home.
Is it difficult to teach music to people? Because it's not your traditional class. We're teaching math and algebra here. We're teaching history here. Music is, it's so widespread and wide ranging. How do you get that through to them? Not just the history of music, but how to sing.
Yeah, I think my style is I like to model a lot. So I sing, they sing. I sing, they sing. And even when I'm teaching them their parts, and some choir directors are very against this. I sing their part first. I'll sing the measure. They sing it back. It's the modeling, and I just feel like you can get anybody to sing, and it is a universal language. I just studying music and world cultures and everything. We can all relate to music in some sort of a way. It's expression of emotion. And the kids tap into something that maybe they didn't know.
Do you find it hard to bring that out in kids? Or can you spot a kid who you know can sing, but they're just maybe shy and reserved?
Oh, for sure. I would say
How do you do that?
80% of the kids in choir don't want to be noticed. They want to be part of a group. And that might even be 90% this year. You know what I mean? It just depends. And sometimes you have a choir with a lot of divas that I've had in the past, or a lot of people that don't mind the spotlight, but that's not the norm. A choir is you want to be part of something.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with that. Some of the kids are sometimes they're afraid to tell me that they don't want to be seen, or they don't want to be heard, or they don't want to they don't want to sing alone in their voice lesson. And I said, I know you're scared. I was like, so bring a friend. But I know that you just want to be part of the group, and I hope that you're going to want to be part of the group for 4 years. And there might be a chance to sing a solo, and you may never go out for it, and I'm totally cool with that. Let the ones that want to go out for it. But, sometimes you have a kid that does try something, and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that I was
could do that.
going to like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Wendy, you are off the hot seat. Thank you for joining me today.
This week's podcast was brought to you by Eco Water of Marshall. Your better water starts here. Finding the perfect solution for your water starts with identifying the problem. Eco Water, backed by nearly a century of expertise and innovation, can help. Call the professionals at Eco Water in Marshall today, 507-532-6547. Your water perfected.